Hey guys, welcome back to Hype RC. In today's video, we're going to go over the #1 upgrade that you can do to any crawler. Not just specifically the UTB 18 Axial Capra, but any crawler across the board. There's a lot of new guys getting into this hobby, and I see them on the boards all the time asking, hey, what's the #1 upgrade that I can do to my crawler to get started? And that, my friends, is wheels and tires. And I'll tell you why. It's a 3-in-1 upgrade that specifically addresses 3 of the major attributes to any crawler. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started. All right, guys, let's go over the first attribute that this upgrade helps on your rig. The first attribute that you can address with the rig that will make any crawler better is to lower the center of gravity on your rig. And there's nothing that sits lower on your rig than the wheels and tires. So by adding heavier wheels to your rig, or brass rings or iron rings, some guys even go as far as to put lead weights in the tires, BBs in the tires, to lower that center of gravity on these rigs, which will help it stay planted. The other thing that gets involved with that is the tire diameter. So obviously the higher your rig sits with the larger tire, the higher your center of gravity is sitting. So I decided to go with the 1.55 TREAL Beadlock, which is what came from the factory on this, was a 1.55 size wheel, and I stayed with the factory size tire. So I'm keeping the center of gravity of this rig as low as possible. The con to that, though, is the more rotating mass you have, the harder it is on your axles, on your drive shafts, and on your motor and transmission. But you have to approach this from a standpoint that you are sitting this vehicle with more weight all 4 corners with one single upgrade. You cannot get that with any other upgrade that you're putting on there except for that. Second attribute that this upgrade directly addresses is grip and or traction. That is going to be directly related to the tires that you pick out for your rig. Now, that being said, you're going to have all different kinds of tires. You're going to have smaller diameter tires, larger diameter tires, different widths tires, different types of treads on tires, different types of compounds on tires. So for instance, a softer tire is going to have more grip, but it's not going to last as long as where a harder compound tire is going to have less grip, but it's going to last longer. And then when you talk about the diameter of the tire, a larger diameter tire has more surface area, so it has more grip, but it doesn't allow you to turn your rig as well, as where a smaller tire doesn't get as much grip, but will allow you to turn and hit different angles to get up on your lines. With that being said, you can also vent your tires, which is allow your tires to release the air out of them, which allow those tires, so you've got the foam working like an air pressure inside your tire. And that tire is expanded, but when you vent those tires, when you come up over a surface, it allows it to kind of crawl over and grab with the tread and pull itself up onto the obstacle that you're trying to get over. But the con to venting your tires is now if you run through mud and water, that is going to get inside of your tires to your foams, and eventually it's going to destroy them. Finally, the third attribute that this upgrade directly affects is the weight distribution of your rig. The magic number for crawling is 60% of your weight in the front with 40% of weight in the rear, and a 50-50 equal across left or right. That can be addressed several different ways with a wheel and tire upgrade. You could have aluminum center ring in the back and a brass ring in the front. So that is going to allow your front wheels and tires to be heavier than your rear wheels and tires and allow you to have that weight pushed towards the front. Now, again, the con to that is the more weight that you put, the more rotating mass that you have on your rig, the harder you are on your drive line. So, I mean, there's overkill and then there's underkill, because you don't want it to be heavier in the rear than you do in the front. You want that 60-40. But if you overkill it and add, lead rings to the front of your rig, you're going to bog it down and you're going to put a lot of strain on the drivetrain of this rig. But you can address this. There are guys that put small lead weights in there around the center ring of their tire. Some guys even use BBs in the tire itself, which sit down in the bottom of the tire, and you can literally adjust that weight specifically to try to address your 60-40 front to back weight. And there's no other upgrade that addresses all 3 of these as well as putting on wheels and tires. It is the #1 upgrade you can do to any rig. I'll show you some run footage that I have. I finally got to get this rig out on my rock course outside and get it off the mini indoor course which I've set up, and we're going to run that footage now so you can take a look at how well this rig crawls with a new set of wheels and tires on it. All right guys, let's check out the weight difference on these. So we've got the factory wheel on the right, it's 50.1 grams, and then the TREAL Beadlock on the left is 146.7 grams. So that's a significant amount of extra weight added down low. Let's get these guys put on and see what they look like. Right now we've got a 53 to 47 front biased with the TREAL 1.5 beadlocks on. All right, guys, that was a blast getting my rig out and running it on my rock course. It's not very often that we get 50-degree days in the Midwest in the middle of January, so that was an extra special treat for me to be able to get out and do that. But I will say that upgrading the wheels and tires on this rig made a huge performance increase. Right out of the box, this rig was running great. I really like my UTB 18. I think it's a great rig for anybody from a starter all the way to your advanced crawler. The weight to power ratio on this size and the scale, which is still being criticized across the way. This rig is a lot of fun. It's a great rig to buy and run. You get everything you need right out of the box, but for the guys like me, we're going to tear this thing down. We're going to throw every mod we can at it and see how well we can get it to perform. I actually have 2 of these rigs. We're going to keep one light and we're going to make one a super powerhouse heavy rig. But the wheel and tire upgrade is the best upgrade that you can do for any of your crawler rigs. It helped improve this one. So get out to your stores, your online stores, pick stuff out, try out what you like, get it out there on your course and run it. But don't forget to support your local hobby shops. Bash, crawl, repeat. Hit the subscribe and like button for me and ring that bell so you can catch my next video. Thanks for tuning in.